Something I live for is exposing the immorality and irrationality of modern-day feminism. Like, ladies, listen. Being a slut is not empowering. You're just easy.
That's a fact.
Flaunting your hairy armpits is also not empowering. It's just unhygienic and gross. Also, you should probably stop calling yourself a feminist if you hate women for just simply disagreeing with you.
We've been in this business for as long as we have, and we are women and we are Latinas, and the pressures of our families like, okay, mija, so, when are you gonna make me a grandmother? Average age of women having kids in 2021, it was 26 years old, but for fathers was actually 31. And if we take it way back in 1990, it was 24 years old. And then in 1970, it was 21.
Yeah.
In major cities where many women are seeking careers, the average age of a woman having her first kid is 32 years old.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, because we both passed that age, we are both 30 plus on the heavy on the plus.
Well, I made my 40 already, so I'm fine with it. I'm okay with saying my age because I don't look my age, and I think it's definitely a mentality thing. Although biologically inside, my ovaries ain't, they like, yo, 40.
My brothers, in the book of the cheek slang of divine intervention, verse 444, it states, when a man acquires his wealth and he gets to his bag, he dreams of giving his woman the world, anything she desires. She has the world in the palm of her hands. But when a woman gets the bag, she's strong and she's independent, and she doesn't need a man. Stay woke, kings. This is why men do not care about a woman's pot of gold.
Because you're not going to share with us anyways.
And a specific group of men who are constantly asking women what do they bring to the table. Let me remind you, we live in 21st century. In this generation, a lot of women are able to own their own home, cars, even have a better credit than most men. And maybe this is an American culture, because in most countries, in other places, if you ever ask a woman what does she bring to the table, trust me, my darling, you might die single.
You might die single.
Before you ask a woman what does she bring to the table, make sure you have one.
To all you career-oriented ladies, to all you women's right activists, listen very carefully. We are about to time travel 20 years into the future of this woman's life. Fellas, let's all jump into the hot tub time machine together. On a count to 3, everybody jump. 1, 2, 3, jump!
2,000 years later.
I'm just so desperate for a husband, and there's a lot of pressure around me, so if you can deal me and propose, I swear I'll behave and I'll marry you immediately. I'll wash your clothes, I'll cook for you, I'll have you.
Oh my gosh! Jay Willikers, I feel so bad. I wish I could do something. But she's strong and she's independent. I think she's got this.
Children, and I'll be obedient.
Oh, Jesus.
Miss your wife because that's what you guys want.
Ooh, maybe not. And woman also be like, oh, I don't need a man. I can change and fix my tires all by myself.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I have a boyfriend.
Okay, that's great. I just want to let you know that your tire's flat.
Will you mind helping me?
First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
Get your fucking boyfriend to do it.
This is a certified hood classic.
To this day! To this day!
If we look at the modern woman today, they have more rights than ever before, but yet they are more miserable than ever before. See, every woman in America wants to be a feminist. There are 3 things that the modern woman wants. They want the privileges of a woman, the authority of a man, but yet the accountability of a child. And fellas, you know what's even worse than that? A male feminist. Jesus fucking Christ.
I am Dominic Roberto, and I am the president of my school's feminism club. Yes, the Feminism Club.
Ha! Gay!
I imagine that there's a mixture of opinion in the audience. Some guys might be thinking that I'm a genius. I surround myself with girls on a daily basis. Okay. Other guys, though, might be thinking that I'm definitely gay as a result of this.
Listening to this young man speak, I've came to a realization. I've came to a conclusion that this motherfucker probably holds the Guinness World Record for being friend-zoned by the most women. For God's sakes, it is literally impossible for a man who was raised right to be a male feminist. Every time I hear a guy say, oh, I'm a women's rights activist, I'm a male feminist, I'm just like, come on, bro. That is the most pathetic, most despicable, most limp dick way to try to get some pussy. Like, on the first date, his whole game plan was, oh, let me just agree with her. Maybe she'll touch the tip. Maybe she'll give it a couple sucks. Maybe she'll play with my pee-pee.
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. My ding-ding-dong.
This beta male, he lives to appease everyone's feelings instead of living by his own core values. And as a man, you only got two things. That is your word and your ball sack. This beta male cannot be trusted and he cannot be depended on. If I was the dictator of the United States of America, this motherfucker will be the first to be eliminated.
My first love broke my heart for the first time, and I was like...
Because every time I think of a male feminist, I think of a hairy vagina that smells like a tuna casserole that he probably bleeds from once a month.
Why would you say that?
Fix it.
Why would you say that?
I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to say that, but I just don't give a fuck. Because the majority of feminists, they want to be treated like men. But if you really listen to them and if you study them, they really don't. Because they only want the good stuff about being a guy that benefits them. My Asian sister from another mister, can you come and preach to the gospel for us?
Feminism is the worst thing that ever happened to women. Our job used to be no job. We had it so good. All these women had to show off and be like, we could do it. We could do anything. Bitch, shut up. Don't tell them the secrets.
And here is the biggest problem with many feminists.
I'm not attracted to bare minimum, zero effort, no money, garbage guzzling, fucking non-romantic, dirty, smelly, sweaty men. It just doesn't fit my plot.
I love how men on my page always love to say how entitled I am for having standards. And then they proceed to use the same thing all the time. They say, men build buildings. What would you guys do without men? We build buildings and bridges and buildings. I'm like, what building have you built? Except on Minecraft in your mother's house. Because you're such a treasure.
Many women today, they are so used to having one-sided arguments because many men are afraid to speak up. But bitches, time has changed because we have men in the manosphere like Kevin Samuels, aka the Feminist Slayer.
I think those black guys are gonna try to save us.
He is not afraid to speak up about unpopular opinions because the majority of women, they want a traditional man to provide and protect. But none of these creep gobblers do not even know how to be a traditional woman because in the name of the cheek slang collaborations, it states the more tattoo she has, and the more masculine she is, and the longer the lashes, my brother, the more body she catches.
Let's be very, very, very clear, okay? I had a lot of fun in my 20s. A lot of fun. I was on a hit TV show. Yes. I was doing my damn thing. I had a lot of fun in my 20s for many years.
With them legs and them toes out.
My 30s, I was more selective with what I was happening, and I'm very selective going forward.
In Cheek Slang Prometheans 694, it states, if she opens up her legs for the whole world to smash and see, she's not gonna get a relationship out of me. Because many feminists complain about, oh my God, being a woman is so hard. Stop it.
Seriously, a nutless monkey could do your job.
A nutless monkey can do your job because women, they are born with inherent value. But men, we have to earn it. And here's the biggest problem with many feminists. Writing articles in air conditioning, privileged societies, bitching and mansplaining.
I hate men. Like, I hate men. If there's a hate club for men, I want to join it. I want to be in it because I hate men. There's just nothing about them at all that I like. I hate them.
While this cream gobbler sits at home, bitches, complains, and moans with her saggy tits, when other women in different countries that actually need the outside help. I've seen women in third world countries working manual labor jobs along with men, beside men, to support their families. Those are the real women. Those women are the real MVP, not some American feminist, a 300-pound gorilla complaining about any inconvenience that they find on social media. See, here's the biggest problem with feminists. They look at men as if they are a buffet. They can pick and choose whoever they want. See, these women, they have these unrealistic dating expectations that they put on men. And guess who's the most affected? Women, because accountability is a woman's kryptonite. Have a look at this.
If you think that a man has to buy you dinner to be worth your time, you are entitled in my books.
You know what happens to us after years in the dating world? We grow wiser. We may say, oh, I wish I had done things a little differently, but we start to develop standards that prevent us from encountering those same situations that caused us pain. Because that's all we can do. We can't go back and fix the past, but we can put measures in place to protect ourselves in the future. You have to understand that so many women have been fooled by this illusion of effort when it comes to men. And so some women do get to a point where they realize that a man can fake an emotional investment, and so they start to require a financial one in the form of dinner or a meal. Doesn't mean she thinks she's above a rose and a walk in the park, but maybe she's taken one too many walks, all with the wrong outcome. And she has a right to demand more as evidence of interest in hopes of pursuing the right one. But you also have to understand something else. Too many women have found themselves in situations with men who only want to see them in a private setting. So when a woman is trying to navigate the difference between someone who's trying to use her sexually versus someone that wants to seriously date her, keeping it behind closed doors or outside of the public eye does absolutely nothing to indicate that man's intentions long term. And I'm going to tell you why I have a problem with this. Because this is the that makes women hesitant to have standards. And more importantly, this is what makes them uncomfortable upholding them. It's this fear of being called high maintenance. And I notice that he can bounce from side to side sometimes, so my point is this. You can't tell women to not lower their standards and know their worth, and then criticize them for having them like it somehow makes them less desirable. We are constantly being told to pick better men, and yet when we put measures in place to try and filter them out, we're ridiculed for being too demanding or hard to please. So just a different perspective, because maybe it's not about entitlement, and it's about gauging true intentions instead.
Did you guys hear that? That is absolute blasphemy. See, most feminists, they view men as an all-you-can-eat buffet because they only select what's good and what benefits them. Feminists be like, Oh, we want the same hourly pay as men. Oh, we'll take some of that. Oh, the man can pay for the date. He can pay for the movie tickets, no problem. May the cheek-slaying fathers ascend down from the gates of heaven and enlighten us and bless us with the cheek-slaying Declaration of Independence. According in the prophetic cheek-pounding dimensions, it states, all women want equality. Until the bill at dinner comes, then all of a sudden she wants to be Stevie Wonder. Because they can't see the bill for shit. And some feminists, they be like, oh my God, why do we not get the same pay as men? Well, sweetheart, allow me to explain. So let's hypothetically say that me and you were in a building together. Then all of a sudden, a fucking terrorist decides to crash a plane into the building. And for some fucked up reason, the kids and the woman will be evacuated first, while the men have to stand behind singing Kumbaya and wait for this airplane to blow us up into smithereens. Where are all the feminists in a house fire, while all the men have to stay behind and get scorched to a fucking crisp? See, that's why men make that $2.50 an hour. See, I'm not saying women should not get the same pay as men, but if you want to make as much as I make, I just ask you, when we are on the Titanic together, just stand next to me while we sit to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
Perfect.
I just asked you, if you want to make the same pay as me, when we are in a house fire together, just stand next to me and we can get scorched to a fucking crisp together.
Torch the last one.
Torched?
Yeah, I burnt her ass to a crisp.
Because if a woman claims to be a feminist, she is considered out of the dating market for me. Because men would rather watch society crumble to the ground before dating a feminist. I would rather eat a corn out of a piece of shit before I date a feminist. Fellas, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
But the biggest problem with feminism is that it makes women reject their feminine traits. So they no longer want to be loyal or nurturing. As a result, we're breeding a generation of men who no longer aspire to provide, protect, and most importantly, respect women because they can access them and replace them. So yes, men are struggling to find love, but it might be because this generation of women is not what they want.
That's a fact.
Trespassing on my property. Get the hell out of my yard. JT, let me have this house. JT let you have my house. Yes. My shed. I want it. You're trespassing on my property. You didn't win shit in my yard. Wait. All of you.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that? Get everybody out of